Today, you're going to learn how to make a drink that I call the Magical Mermaid Bubble Tea. This is a fun and fruity drink for all ages. Just like the reflection of the sun on the ocean, this drink reminds me of blue lagoons where magical mermaids live. Not only does it look cute, but it tastes great too. So consider this one an option for your cafe or to simply make it home. Either way, let's get started. First, you're going to need 75 milliliters of green tea. Now, if you've already got some brewed, great. But I don't, so I'm going to brew some now. So first, I'm going to measure out my hot water. You're going to pour 90 milliliters, or approximately 3 ounces, of 70 degrees Celsius water, or about 158 Fahrenheit, into a container. Next is a half tablespoon of the loose leaf Jasmine green tea. I'm gonna pop a lid on top and leave that to set for 7 minutes. If you don't have loose leaf, that's totally fine. Feel free to just use 1 tea bag. I'll be sure to put the recipe and all of the conversions in the description below. Because of the initial layering for this drink, we're going to do it in 2 sections. First, I'm going to start with my blue coral syrup. This syrup is an actual bubble tea product that you would buy from a bubble tea supplier. I bought this syrup online in the UK. The name of it here is blue coral. Yes, it is blue, but it has hints of vanilla and citrus flavor. Very similar to a blue curacao that you would find on the market from other name brands. But the difference is that this one has a little bit of vanilla flavoring added to it, which gives it a really unique flavor profile. You don't often find vanilla in a lot of bubble tea syrups, but it does actually work. Just another fun opportunity to play around with different flavors in the world of bubble tea. First, we're going to measure 30 milliliters of the blue coral syrup. And at a bubble tea shop, it usually comes in these giant containers, and they usually sell pumps. So just figure out what your pump measurement is, and then that way for you and your staff, you can let them know exactly how many pumps as opposed to measuring it in one of these every time. And I'm going to put this into a shaker. We're not actually gonna be shaking this drink today, but I do find that mixing it in here gives enough depth so that way you can give it a really good stir. You can actually shake this recipe with ice and get it really, really super cold, of course. But what I find is if you have too much condensation on the outside of the final cup product, you're not really gonna easily be able to see the sparkles. So a lot of bubble tea shops tend to make it this way, and then they'll simply pour it over ice. That way, when the customer gets their drink, they can take as many pictures as they want with it being all sparkly outside, and then by the time they're done with that, there will be a little bit of condensation on the outside of the cup, and the drink will have gotten cold. But believe me, if you hand it to the customer right away and there's loads of condensation on the outside of the cup, which is amazing, but then they can't really see the sparkles very well and they won't be able to take a lot of pictures with it, so just bear that in mind. The less condensation on the outside of the cup, the more sparkly the drink will actually look for the customer. All right, and I've pre-measured 175 milliliters of room temperature water. We're just gonna pour it in here and give it a really good stir until all is combined. And I'm just gonna put this off to the side. Next, we're going to pour a tablespoon of pineapple syrup into a separate small container. Again, I purchased this pineapple syrup online. This is how it arrives for a bubble tea shop. A tablespoon is 15 milliliters, and usually a pump for bubble tea tends to be about 7 milliliters, so therefore this would be 2 pumps. Using the green tea that you just brewed, we're going to strain it carefully into this container that has the pineapple syrup. We want to get it up to the 75 milliliter point. So I've just got a simple tea strainer and I've got my green tea, and let's go. And again, give this a really good stir until all is combined. Now, when we're all done compiling this drink, in just a moment, we're going to be adding our secret ingredient, which is the edible glitter. Now, there's a lot of different glitters on the market that are edible, but it's super important that you understand a few things, not only for home use, but especially for your shop or cafe. I just have to take a quick second to just remind you that when you are adding glitter to a drink, when people are gonna be consuming this and it will be going into their body, it's super important to make sure that it is 100% edible and FDA approved, and it will never hurt anybody, etc. The one I will be using today is a brand called Brew Glitter in White. This isn't sponsored, I'm just sharing with you what I used in my cafes, so that way you know what a good quality product is. This one is made in America, so excellent for you American folk out there, but if you are in the rest of the world, they do ship internationally. It is FDA approved, which is super important when you're looking for a product that a customer is going to consume. It is actually a lot easier to find this stuff readily available online nowadays. 5-10 years ago, it was so difficult to find something like this, especially one that glitters in the drink and doesn't just sink to the bottom. True edible glitter can be quite expensive, but the more you buy, the more you save. So if you're gonna be making this at home, I definitely recommend getting a little tiny thing just like this. But if you are making it for your shop, or you've got a big event, or you're a caterer, then I would recommend getting larger sizes, because if you buy bulk, you save money. Again, not sponsored, but I just wanted to stress the importance to you about it. And this just so happens to be a company that I've used over the years, Brew Glitter. I'll leave their information down in the description. Not sponsored at all, but I do enjoy the product. All right, let's compile the drink. First, we're going to pour our blue coral into the glass. Then we're going to tilt our glass and carefully pour in the pineapple. The volume of the pineapple mixture is heavier than the blue coral mixture, so therefore it will sink to the bottom. It will give a nice gradient layered effect. If you want to stop there, go for it. Hand it out to your customers, it looks super cute. But I like to kick things up a notch. So at that point, we're going to add a 1/16 of a teaspoon or less of the edible glitter. Give it a really good stir, and it's ready to go. And if you are using this glitter as one of those big trends for the night markets, you wanna make sure not to actually mix it in with the big batch in advance. You wanna make the drink separate. Then after you pour it into the cup, it's the last thing that you're gonna put on top before you shake it and give it out to the customer. So just bear that in mind. All right, let's do this. Glittery drinks like this always look so much better when they're outside in the sunlight and there's a lot of natural light, but you definitely get the idea of how this looks. Super, super cute. And I've got my little flamingo straw. Let's give it a try and see how it tastes. So, so good. First, you kind of get that pineapple, a hint of the orange in the background, and it's like lingering far away is that vanilla, but it's there. You definitely notice it. Nice with a little bit of green tea. I wouldn't go too over the top with the green tea, just simply because then it's a little more difficult to see the actual colors and the actual glitter, but I think that this definitely works. So I'm super excited. I love this cute little glittery drink, and I definitely hope that you get the opportunity to make it either at home or at your cafe. I'll see you soon. Take care.